Gary Coleman. He's the star of the 70s TV series Different Strokes. He also starred in a run for governor of California, and he's now covering the Michael Jackson trial for All Comedy Radio. Gary, I want to ask you about this concept of having a childhood stolen and how Macaulay Culkin and Michael Jackson share that. But first things first, let's talk about the news of the day. You were there. Talk about the atmosphere around the trial today as Macaulay Culkin went in to testify for his friend Michael Jackson.
And I can certainly tell you, based on last week and this week, it's definitely appearing to me that this is a show trial. It's a revenge trial. Tom Sneddon always said he was going to try and get Michael Jackson one way or another. And it was really proven to me when he didn't redepose his witnesses on the stand when they didn't say what he wanted them to say to get Michael Jackson convicted. That really proved it to me.
Talk about Macaulay Culkin having a special bond with Michael Jackson, because they were, like you, they were both child stars. They both talked about having their childhood stolen. Do you think that Macaulay Culkin would be more likely to stick together with Michael Jackson, or you, others like you, because you all have shared that same experience?
Oh, well, you know, in Hollywood, there's a group of people who actually do participate in that kind of hand-holding kind of atmosphere, a self-help, if you will. It's called a minor consideration. I don't know if Michael Jackson is into that kind of thing, but I certainly understand the kindred spirit aspect of it, except that's not something that I've ever experienced personally myself.
From what we understand, you're out there reporting for All Comedy Radio, is that correct?
I try to poke fun at the fact that Michael Jackson is in court for something that now, obviously, he didn't do. So I try to put a little lighter side on it, and believe me, child molestation allegations, proven or not, is not funny. But I try to be very mindful of that.
While you're on there for a comedy network, you don't think it's funny what's happening to Michael Jackson. You think he's been set up. You think this is a show trial. So I would guess that you think he's going to walk.
Oh, I'm unless, like you just said to Miss London, if something absolutely bizarre, unknown, and devastatingly 180 degrees different happens, he's definitely going to walk.
All of these networks seem to focus in on child stars and take special joy at counting every little mistake that they've made, every sin of omission or commission that they've made. Do you think that may be a part of it with Michael Jackson? Do you think there's a target on Michael Jackson's back, and a lot of people like to see this guy get knocked around?
Well, that's just psychology. There are many people who are jealous and envious of people who have star power or money or fame, and they will look for and try to find any way possible to hurt those people. That's why I am very chagrined that Michael is so reckless with his choices of associations and friendships with children and adults, because you have to always be mindful to shun the appearance of evil, because if you don't, people are going to use your weakness against you and go after you.
And obviously Michael Jackson making the choice time and again to invite young children over to his house, to sleep in the same bed with young boys, dating back 10, 15, 20 years. That certainly plays to people's worst instincts and worst suspicions about Michael Jackson, doesn't it?
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm talking about. And I can certainly say now, as a member of media, as a celebrity, and as a person just watching from afar, I now know that it's just sleeping. There's no sex involved of any kind. There's no heavy petting, no kissing, no nothing. It's just resting. And it took 8, 9, 10 weeks of trial to actually bear that point out. So I am definitely a believer that nothing has ever happened and nothing ever will happen. But you definitely, as a celebrity, you always have to be mindful that people are going to try and knock you down and hurt you and do damage to your reputation any way they can.
All right, Gary Coleman, great talking to you. Great to get a perspective of somebody, again, who's a child star, who understands that after being a child star, while there's fame and glory when you're young, when you grow up, like I said, people love targeting you. Like you said, it's just basic psychology. Thanks for being with us. We appreciate it.